Hi, Albert here with Mainland Cycle Center. Today I want to show you the 2017 Kawasaki Z900, and this is in the metallic spark black. This is the non-ABS version. Make two versions of this bike, obviously with ABS and then without ABS. And like I said, this one is the non-ABS version. So the Z900, man, what is it with all the Z bikes? We got the Z1000, Z900 for 2016. We had a Z800. And so for 2017, the Z900 is going to replace the Z1000 and the Z800 in our lineup. Well, I don't know. Is that really what you want? You know, I mean, the Z1000 really runs good. The Z800 runs good. Why do we need a Z900? Well, those are all the questions I had. I really didn't get it. But after riding this bike and looking at it a bit, I get it now. And so first thing with this bike is a new frame, a trellis style frame. So with the help of that frame and whatever else the Kawasaki engineers managed to do, they managed to get this bike about 46 pounds lighter than the Z800. Okay, so quite a bit lighter. And also they upped the displacement. So the Z800 was about 801 or 799 cc's, but right at 800 cc's. And this bike is 948 cc's. So they almost could have called this bike a Z1000. Anyway, the Z900, 948 cc's. So plenty of motor, inline four-cylinder, super smooth, silky smooth this bike is. I've ridden this bike and it really rides smooth. The other cool thing about this bike is 6-speed transmission, and 6th gear on this bike is an overdrive. So 1st through 5th gears are short gears, meaning you'll run through those gears relatively quickly, and really great acceleration, a lot of fun to shift through those gears. And then 6th gear is an overdrive. And when we say overdrive, what we mean is on your transmission you basically got an input shaft and an output shaft. The output shaft is where the sprocket is that goes back to the wheels. So what we mean when we're in overdrive is that for one turn into the transmission, we're getting more than one turn out of the transmission. So we're literally overdriving the transmission, and that's why they call that an overdrive gear. And so what that does is it lets you run at highway speeds at really low RPMs. But as you know, if you've driven anything with a manual transmission, a motorcycle or car, if you try to pull away from a stop sign in 3rd gear, you don't have the power. So with an overdrive, you typically give up some power for the low RPMs cruising speed. Well, you don't need the power for cruising usually. So if you really want to accelerate hard, depending on your speed, you'd want to downshift and hit it. Go down to 5th or even 4th gear, and you can get those RPMs up and get more in the meat of the power band. But for cruising down the highway, put this thing in 6th gear. What I discovered on the bike that I rode is that at about 70 miles an hour, I was doing about 4,500 RPMs. And then at about 75 miles an hour, I was doing about 5,000 RPM. And the red line of this bike is 11,000 RPM. So that's pretty nice low RPMs for this bike. So it just really cruises at 70, 75 miles an hour. Very smooth, rock solid, no buzz in the handlebars. It was just really nice. Now this bike is not serviced. I did a video on the Z900 ABS model. It is serviced, so if you want to see what the whole dash looks like lit up, check out my Z900 video for the ABS model, because that bike was serviced. Your ignition switch here, new. They call this a composite gas cap, so this piece, I guess, is maybe all this is composite, but no more bolts. Normally you see bolts around here. A little different on the gas cap. Inline 4-cylinder, liquid cooled, fuel injected. Of course, disc brake front and rear. This has Nissan 4-piston calipers on the front, so dual disc with 4-piston calipers, pedal style rotors, floating discs. These are 300mm rotors in the front and a 250mm rotor in the back. You've got adjustable suspension, fully adjustable front and rear, so you can adjust the spring dampening and the preload on these shocks, on these forks, and the rear shock. This is a 41mm inverted front fork. Of course, you can see your great looking headers there, your spin-on oil filter right down there, clear turn signal lenses. When the headlights are on this bike, the low beam will be on this side, and then when you hit the high beam will come on over here. So one headlight on when you're driving down the road with the low beam on. Let's see, rubber on the foot pegs will dampen some vibration there. A really nice, good looking texture on the seat. This one, like I said, the metallic spark black. Looks great, especially out here in the sun. It's got some rim stripes on it. Let's see, what else can we tell you about this bike? But you know, really, this is just a lot of fun, this bike to ride. Great suspension, you know, not as high end as the ZX10, but this bike doesn't cost what the ZX10 costs. I believe MSRP on this bike, I want to say non-ABS $93.99, ABS model $97.99. So very, very reasonable on these, and really great components, and rides great. And I'm just in love with that six gear, 6-speed overdrive on these bikes. Just really fantastic. Let's see. Oh, all right. Let's talk about the clutch. We talked about the transmission, but let's talk about the clutch. So this has the slipper and assist style clutch. So basically it has a little ramp system inside the clutch. So as you apply torque with the throttle, so as you twist the grip, what that's going to do is cause the clutch plates to squeeze together, because there's a little ramp system in there, and because of that, they need less clutch springs. And there's probably 3 clutch springs, maybe 4, instead of 5 or 6. And so what that does is it makes the clutch pull very, very light. So I mean, this clutch pull is so light on this, it's very, very easy to pull the clutch. So if you're sitting at a long red light, it is absolutely no trouble to just hold that clutch in. I mean, it's so easy. You could literally do it with your pinky. It is not hard at all. A very, very light clutch pull. And the other thing it does, because you have that ramp system that applies torque on acceleration, it actually will cause the clutch to slip under enough back torque or deceleration. So acts as a slipper clutch, and then an assist, because when you apply torque, it basically assists in applying pressure with that, so you don't need as many clutch springs. Really light, easy clutch pull. So another cool feature about the Z900. And we're doing a lot of bikes. The Ninja 300 has that. The Ninja H2 has that. Really is becoming a kind of a standard technology on all the bikes. Just a really great feature, that assist and slipper clutch. All right, well, that's a look at the 2017 Kawasaki Z900 Metallic Spark Black non-ABS. We are Mainland Cycle Center. We're located in Marque, Texas. We're about 30 minutes south of downtown Houston, just off of I-45. You can find us online at mainlandcyclecenter.com or by phone at 409-948-4969. And we would just love it if you give us a call, shoot us an email, or even better, come by and see us in person here at Mainland Cycle Center, where we'd love to help any way that we can. Hey, thanks for watching.